Hello all, today we are going to study Favorsky rearrangement reaction. I have made other videos on rearrangement and reactions. Do watch, do subscribe for more such content. Let's see the reaction first and then I will explain you rest of the things. Okay. So basically we are going to talk about alpha haloketones. What are exactly alpha haloketones? This is a keto functional group. Carbon attached to the ketone group is alpha carbon. To this alpha halogen is attached. So this is your alpha haloketone, and this is a rearrangement reaction. So let's write the other groups. Okay. I'll put R dash so it becomes easy for me. Now this is your group basically, and this is your alpha haloketone, which is now going to show a rearrangement in presence of a base. You can have a hydroxide as a base. You can have an alkoxide as a base. Okay. You can also have an amine as a base, right? Depending upon what base you're using, you can get a product. So basically what happens is, this is a leaving group that is going to leave, and this group is going to get rearranged over here. So I'll write this rearrangement first. So instead of that halogen, you will have this R group over here. Whatever was attached to that carbonyl group has rearranged itself. So now carbonyl group is free. There is nothing else with it. So what will get attached to this? The part from the base. Nucleophilic sort of substitution, you'll see this. And this is nothing but you will get a carboxylic acid. You can do acidification, that K will be replaced by H and you will get carboxylic acid. Similarly, when you are using an ethoxide, you are getting an ester. So this OC2H5, depending upon the base, you're going to get that particular ester. Similarly, here this part is going to get attached. Okay. Sorry, NCH3 twice. So this is nothing but an amide. So what exactly is this rearrangement? Rearrangement of alpha haloketones in presence of a base to give carboxylic acid or its derivatives. It involves substitution of it involves substitution of halogen atom by alkyl or aryl group through rearrangement. It can take place for cyclic or acyclic alpha haloketones, which must have an alpha hydrogen atom. So on this group, there should be an alpha hydrogen atom. So Favorsky is shown by alpha haloketones having alpha hydrogen atom. If alpha hydrogen atom is absent, then that reaction is called as Cauchy-Favorsky reaction. I'll show you one example later. Then when hydroxide is used, you get carboxylic acid, alkoxide gives an ester, amine gives an amide. And for cyclic ketones, if this reaction takes place, it shows ring contraction. So we will see this in the example mechanism now. So what does the mechanism is? Mechanism has three steps. The first step is deprotonation. So uh, same alpha haloketone we will write. And as I told you, it should have an alpha halogen atom. So we will now show that alpha halogen atom. So this is your alpha carbon. This is also your alpha carbon. This becomes your alpha halo group and this becomes your alpha hydrogen atom. Hydrogen present on alpha carbon is alpha hydrogen, and alpha carbon is a carbon attached to functional group. Remember it this way. Okay. Now let's take a base. Let's take an ethoxide. What will the base do? Base will abstract a proton. Which proton it is going to abstract? Alpha proton. So this H it is going to abstract. So you will get C2H5OH. Now let's write the product that you get after abstraction of proton. So here proton is abstracted, so you get a pair of electrons and will have a negative charge. This is nothing but a carbanium. So in your first step, what is formed? Carbanium. Now this carbanium is quite stable because it forms a resonating structure giving you an enolate ion. That is why the stability. So what's enolate? Your so this will go over here. This will go over here. So this will be O minus, this will be CH and R. So it forms a enolate ion. Okay. So that is why it's quite stable. So we say the carbanion is in resonance with the enolate ion. Okay, that's first step. Now what is our second step? Carbanion undergoes new intramolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So this, I'll show the carbanion so that I can show you the. So this was our carbanion, right? Negative charge over here on the carbanion. It undergoes intramolecular nucleophilic substitution. So it attacks this, and this is our leaving group which is going to break. So this will now give you a cyclopropane intermediate. So this is how the cyclopropane intermediate is formed, because this carbonyl group is attached to this carbon and this carbon. So this is your cyclopropane intermediate. Okay, this is your cyclopropane ring. Once this ring is formed, now the base attacks. So I'll continue it from here. So this was our first step. This was our second step in the mechanism, and this is our third step in the mechanism. Okay. So now the base attack. So we had taken an alkoxide as a base. Where will the base attack? Base will attack to the electrophilic carbon atom. So this is your electrophilic carbon. The electrons will shift over here. Okay, so now you are getting an intermediate again. So look at this. So cyclopropane ring is still intact. This is O minus and this is O C2H5. Okay, so this is, sorry, this is your ring. Now this electrons will attack over here. Okay, so now what we are going to get? We are going to get ring opening. Now ring opening can take, see, if the electrons are coming over here, the bond can break this here as well as here. Okay, so let's say this is A and this is B. So if it breaks anywhere, it's suppose it breaks at A. I'll show you the cleavage at A. So if it breaks at A, what are you going to get here? C double bond O, O, C2H5. Okay. So if it breaks at A, you're going to get a carbanion. So this is the cleavage at A. If it breaks at B, now I will squeeze the structure because I am not having much space here. This is OC2H5 and this is the carbanion. So now the question arises, which carbanion will be formed? The carbanion which is more stable. And this is your secondary carbanion. So this will be more stable than the tertiary carbanion. So this carbanion is more stable. So during this step, a more stable carbanion is formed. So this is your more stable carbanion which is formed, and then this undergoes protonation. So protonation will take place at that carbon having a negative charge, and you are going to get this as your final structure. Because we had used an ethoxide, we got an ester over here. Okay, so I hope you people have understood this. I will erase this because for your explanation why that B is not formed, the reason being it doesn't give more stable carbanion. The carbanion which is more stable, you will get that product. So this was a mechanism for acyclic compound. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Now we will go for a cyclic one. I have a nice animation that I got. Yeah, I'll start this animation and now just look at this. This is the attack of base. Okay, so formation of negative charge. Base abstracts the proton. Negative charge attacks this carbon leaving group goes. Now a base will again attack at the C double bond O at the electrophilic carbon atom. I'll write the mechanism once more, and then that new carbanion is formed. Sorry for the noise. New carbanion is formed, and at the end protonation takes place. So beautiful animation. I got this from GIF. So I have also mentioned the link over here, and if you want I will just write this again. If you want you can see, or you can just skip and go ahead. So this was our cyclic ketone. This is your halogen atom. Okay, and now this is your alpha carbon atom. This is also alpha carbon. So proton from here is going to get abstracted. So when you use a base, this proton is getting abstracted, and what you are going to get is a negative charge at that carbon. Now this negative charge will attack this carbon and leaving group leaves. So Cl minus leaves. So what you're going to get is a cyclopropane ring over here. Okay. This is a cyclopropane ring. Now once the cyclopropane ring is formed, again the base attacks. So now let's consider we are taking a hydroxide like NaOH or something like that. Now this will attack the electrophilic carbon and the electrons shift over here. So this will give you O minus, this will give you OH, and this is the cyclopropane intermediate. Now the electrons from the oxygen will go back to form a bond. This is symmetric, so any bond will break. So you can break anything from here because it's going to give you the same carbanion. So let's break this, and uh, okay. Okay, now electrons are going to attack back. So this is what is left. Because the bond is breaking, this will be having a negative charge, and the last step is protonation. So proton will attack here. So what happens, initially you had a 6-membered ring and now you are having a 5-membered ring. So your protonation takes place. This is called as ring contraction. So if you are having a 4-membered ring, it will give you 3-membered ring. 7-membered ring will give you 6-membered ring, and so on. Okay, so this was a mechanism for cyclic ketones. You can watch the video again. Now let's see some examples. When I study, like I used to study, I had just for this, first you have to understand this mechanism and then go for all these tricks. So what you can do is, wherever there is halogen, just make that carbon number 1, 2, 3. So what you will remember here is, there is a bond form. Now when you want to quickly write the product, there is no time to write the mechanism, so you should know where the bond formation is going to take place. So bond is going to form between first and third carbon, and the bond is going to break. Now generally I write it as 2 and 3, but depending upon the carbanion stability you will have to choose. So but now let's, for the trick's sake, we will consider is that it has 2 and 3, or I will also write it as say 1 or 2 depending upon the stability of the carbanion. So now this is a simple reaction. When you have such simple product, you can use this trick. Okay, so if I want to write the product directly, what I am going to do, the bond is formed between 1 and 3. So I will write rest of the structure. This was my first carbon, this is third carbon. So bond is formed between 1 and 3. Bond breaks between 2 and 3 or 2 and 1. Because this is a simple structure, we will break it between 2 and 3. So the bond at 2, so I'll write it here, sorry. Okay, so what is there now? This is your second carbon. What is there at the second carbon? C double bond. Everything remains the same. Now this is your hydroxide. So just pick up this and put it over here. That's it. Sorry, ONA, and then acidification and everything, you will get this. So this is your carboxylic acid. Okay, let's try with this also. 1, 2, 3. So you can also write the mechanism, but I'm just showing you a quick trick. So wherever there was halogen, a new bond is formed at that place. Remember, so always look out for is that halogen. Then at 2, this is your 1, 3, and this is 2. So that double bond remains as it is, and from here what are you going to take? This. So you can leave that Na. If you want, for the trick set, you can take this also, OH, and this will be OET. So you get an ester, right? Now I'll go for this structure later. Let's go for the cyclic one. See, everywhere you see the ring contraction. Similarly, now if you are used to, you can try this out again. So 1, 2, 3, rest of the structure remains as it is. This was my first carbon. This is my third carbon. So bond is formed between 1 and 3. 2 and 3 breaks. This was second carbon atom. So write that. And this is OET. So don't take that metal. rest of the structure you take. Similarly for this also, I will write it as 1, 2 and 3. So bond here, see this is the rearrangement, no, that group changes. So this is 2, this is 3, bond formed over here. Sorry, this is 1 and this is 3. This is carbon number 2 having a double bond. What are you going to take? I told you don't take that metal, remaining part you take, and this is your OH. Okay, so this is a very beautiful tricky reaction. Now I'm coming here because this was acyclic, and I told you that more stable carbanion has to be there, no? So let's say 1, 2 and 3. So you know that this is going to shift over here, right? So when you shift this over here, you are going to get the cyclopropane ring. So you can directly start with the cyclopropane ring. Okay, so this is the cyclopropane ring that you get. Then comes the base OET minus, because you don't take that metal, just take that base, and it attacks over here, right? So O minus OET. Okay, this is your pH. Now we are going to break it to give you a more stable carbanion, right? Now the negative charge can be formed over here if it breaks at A. If it breaks at B, the negative charge is going to form over here. Out of this, within the structure, you can choose which one will give more stable. Because a benzene ring is attached, this has more stability because of the resonance. Okay, so your bond breaks at B. So if your bond breaks at B, see what you is left over here. So B is breaking. So let's say this was my 2, 3, 2, 1. So 2 and 3 bond is breaking. 2 and 3. So this is 3 and this is attached to 1. This is my 1, and to that 1 you have this carbon number 2 attached. See, this nomenclature I am giving you just for the sake of your understanding. It's not the nomenclature basically. Okay, this was that 2, and here the protonation takes place, and here you are going to get your H. So basically your product will look, final product will look like this. It will be like this. So I didn't go for directly writing this, so that you will understand how this product you are getting. Okay, so this was some of the examples. Most of the time, like, you can follow this trick, just make sure that it is giving you a more stable carbanium. That's it. So most of the time, as far as your syllabus is concerned, you will be getting examples like this. Okay, let's see some applications. We can prepare cubane, a very, very beautiful, one of my favorite molecule. Synthesis of cubane can be done. Cubic like structure, organic molecule with lots of energy and lots of application in it. Then we can prepare branched carboxylic acids. So similarly, you can also try this here. So this is 1, 2 and 3. So this whole thing is going to shift where there was halogen. So that is why you get a bond over here. And because you are using NaOH, you are getting a carboxylic acid. You can try this with mechanism. Then we have synthesis of demerol. It's an antihelminthic drug which can also be prepared by the same mechanism of Favorsky arrangement. So this was your 1, 2 and 3. So this pH thing is going, the pH, whole pH is going to rearrange itself over here. Now remember, there is no ring contraction in this case because the whole group is outside the ring. So don't get confused that why ring contraction didn't take place over here. Here ring contraction took place because it was a C double bond O was a part of this group. Here C double bond O is outside the ring. So no ring contraction in this case. Okay, so this is nothing but your alicyclic, acyclic, sorry. Now pH goes over here, and here wherever there was oxygen, just put OH. So simple mechanism, the R group goes to carbon having halogen. Okay, carbon having halogen, and on that C double bond O group, you can either put OH, you can either put OR if it is an alkoxide, or you can put NR, NR2 if it's an amine. So this will give you carboxylic acid, this will give you an ester, and this will give you an amide. This is the reaction. I hope you have understood this. There's one more Quasi-Favorsky I told you. I'll quickly tell you this because not much you have to study about this. This is for such type of alpha haloketones which are not having any alpha hydrogen atom. Okay, and the whole reaction is carried out by the base. So see, there is no alpha hydrogen atom. This is your alpha carbon, but there is no alpha hydrogen atom. So let's take an alkoxide. Now alkoxide will directly attack this. Sorry, this is Cl. This is Cl. Wait, I'll clear it out properly. Alpha haloketone without a alpha hydrogen, the reaction is governed by the base. So base first attacks this carbonyl carbon, and the shifting of the electrons takes place this way. So I will first show you this. Let's draw this whole thing first. Hmm. I'll place this C6H5 over here and this OC2H5 over here. Okay. Now what happens? Wherever the electrons are there, they're going to attack first. So if the bond electron shift over here, this group is going to shift here and this group is going to leave. So your leaving group is now leaving, and this is how your rearrangement takes place. Okay, so this is called as Quasi-Favorsky rearrangement reaction. I'll give you one more example. Let's take this example. This is also not having any alpha hydrogen atom. And now I'll write a product directly. What I told you, just shift the whole group to the carbon having the halogen. Shift the whole group to the carbon having the halogen. Done. Then that C double bond group is left. Now take it from the base. If it is an hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, just put OH. Done. This is how you're going to quickly write the reactions without writing the mechanism. Okay, so this was all about Favorsky and Quasi-Favorsky. As per your syllabus, there are a lot of things in this which are for higher standards for PG, for which I am not going to make the video right now. I'll make it sometime later. But this is the basics of the Favorsky. As far as the BSc students are concerned, this is enough. Thank you.